Well, with millions of dollars hanging in the balance, the future of the E&N rail line remains uncertain still. Federal and provincial funding is in place to repair the tracks and track bed and get service back up and running. But the Island Corridor Foundation has still not started the work. People in the Comox Valley say if the train doesn't get up and running, they may face problems when it reaches the end of the line. CTV's Gord Kurbis shows us why.
I've never really had any buckets out here.
There's no question that Courtenay's historic train station has seen better days. The northern terminus of the old Esquimalt-Nanaimo rail line used to be filled with visiting passengers. Now it's filled with buckets collecting rainwater.
So I think this is one of the biggest CP rail built stations left on the island. And it's a very nice station. It does need some work and obviously needs a new roof.
Via Rail used to look after the building, but then turned it over to the Comox Valley Direction Society, a group that was looking for office space. Via gave it access to the building in return for greening the train and taking care of the building. Volunteers were tasked with then bringing the neglected structure back to life.
When we came, it was shambles. It was completely full of garbage and destroyed and just horrible mess.
Many were retired tradespeople who worked for 3 years to bring the station up to standards. But Jim Hunter, who's a former volunteer greeter, says Via's commitment to a much-needed roof replacement was never fulfilled.
They asked for quotes, and so we had quotes from 3 or 4 different companies here in town. And then we sent them off via fax, and then we didn't hear anything for a few months, and we called and contacted again, and they said, well, now there's a new person in charge of certain division of VIA, and we needed to resend all the estimates, and we did that a few times. Being that we didn't have any money ourselves to do anything, we just had to let it set where it was.
It's now past the point of repair, leaking in a number of places, and inside a closet, a view of the sky above, one that shouldn't be there. Water is also pouring through the basement, channeling into a spot where a sump pump removes it. Volunteers fear now the entire building could be in jeopardy. Next year, Courtenay Station turns 100, and those who have been associated with the heritage building hope that it can be fully restored by that centennial. But failing any roofing job or major repairs, they're hoping that the damage that has been allowed to take place doesn't continue.
It would be a shame to see it damaged to a point where it would have to be demolished. Still a very viable building, and it'd just be a shame to see a Britco trailer in its place instead.
Representatives from the Island Corridor Foundation are due to tour the building in the next few weeks, but there's no guarantee the foundation will provide the money to fix it up. Unless the ICF comes up with some cash or another means can be found to fund the repairs, the little station at the end of the rail line may have reached the end of its line. Gord Kurbis, CTV News, Courtenay.